Most people hear Honda CB100 and instantly think entry-level, boring commuter bike. That's the mistake. When I first looked into the Honda CB100 2026, I didn't expect to be impressed. I thought it would just be another small displacement bike built to hit a price point and disappear into traffic. But the more I compared it to what Honda could have done, and what they've quietly been doing lately, the more interesting this bike became. Because this isn't just about 100cc, it's about intent. I noticed Honda isn't chasing excitement the loud way anymore. They're doing it subtly. And the CB100 2026 feels like part of that strategy. Here's what surprised me first. Honda didn't try to make this bike look cute or toy-like. The proportions matter. The tank shape, the seat line, the way the headlamp sits, it feels intentional, almost grown up. Most people miss how important that is for a beginner or daily rider. If your bike looks disposable, you treat it that way. This one doesn't. When I compared it mentally to older CB100 style commuters, the difference is clear. Older versions felt like tools. The 2026 version feels like something you'd actually choose, not settle for. Now, let's talk about power, but not in the way people usually do. Everyone obsesses over horsepower numbers, especially online, and yes, this is still a 100cc class bike. You're not racing anyone. But what I noticed is that Honda seems more focused on how the power arrives, not how much of it there is. Smooth throttle response matters more than peak numbers at this level, and Honda is extremely good at that. I've ridden enough Honda Smalls to know this. They make low-speed riding feel calm. No jerks, no panic, just predictable movement. That's underrated. The misconception most people have is thinking beginner bikes should feel aggressive to be fun. I don't agree. A bike that builds confidence quietly is more enjoyable long-term than one that scares you for the first month and then feels annoying. The CB100 2026 feels like it's built for someone who wants to ride every day, not impress anyone. Another thing that stood out to me is the riding position. Honda could have gone full upright commuter. They didn't. It's neutral, but slightly engaged, enough to feel connected, not hunched, not lazy. That tells me Honda expects this bike to be ridden more than just short errands. And here's a small detail most people ignore: seat comfort. In paper, it sounds not exciting. In real life, it decides whether you love your bike or resent it. Honda seats are usually firm but supportive. If the CB100 2026 follows that pattern, and it likely does, it'll be more comfortable after an hour than many sportier small bikes that look cool in photos but punish your back. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Why would anyone care about a CB100 in 2026 when there are bigger, faster, flashier bikes everywhere? Because not everyone wants noise. I think there's a quiet shift happening. People are tired of complexity. Too many electronics, too much weight, too much maintenance anxiety. The CB100 feels like a response to that fatigue. Air-cooled simplicity, easy servicing, fuel efficiency you don't have to think about. That kind of reliability gives you mental freedom. You ride more when your bike doesn't demand attention. And that's something Honda understands deeply. One mistake buyers often make is underestimating resale value on bikes like this. Honda small displacement bikes hold value absurdly well in many markets. Why? Because they age gracefully. They don't rely on trendy tech that feels outdated in 3 years. A CB100 from today will still make sense 5 years from now. I also noticed Honda didn't overload this bike with gimmicks. No unnecessary screens, no forced sport mode, just the essentials done cleanly. That restraint is confidence. Brands only overcompensate when they're unsure. Now, is it perfect? No. If you're someone who constantly rides highways, this isn't your bike. If you equate fun strictly with speed, you'll get bored. And if you want attention at bike nights, this probably won't do it. But that's the point. The CB100 2026 isn't trying to be aspirational. It's trying to be dependable, likable, and honest. One practical takeaway I think matters is this is a bike you can learn everything on. Throttle control, braking, corner entry, body positioning. Mistakes won't punish you harshly. That's how skills actually develop. Many riders jump too big, too fast, then they never really master anything. This bike encourages patience, and patience makes better riders. I also think this bike makes sense for experienced riders in a way people won't admit. As a second bike, a daily runabout, something you don't overthink. There's freedom in riding a bike that doesn't ask for your ego. When I imagine owning a CB100 2026, I don't imagine weekend bragging. I imagine early mornings, empty streets, short rides that turn into longer ones because there's no pressure. That's a specific kind of joy. Honda didn't reinvent the wheel here. They refined it, quietly, carefully, almost stubbornly. And maybe that's why this bike matters more than people realize. Because in a world chasing extremes, the Honda CB100 2026 feels like a reminder that balance still wins. And honestly, I respect that more than another headline-grabbing machine.